All right, hello. This is gonna have to be a two-part video, and I need to remember to cover up for legal reasons. I don't know why I do that. I'm just gonna play it by the rules here. The email, so I will have this. This is not how I function with napkins on the chair, all this crap. I want to open this up, part one. We are at part one, with what I'm I'm a Christian woman. I'm practically a preacher. Is my closeness with God is something I would love to share with people, but I have been isolated and no one wants to talk to me about jack crap. But because I'm a Christian woman, like I pray. I would love to talk to people about how much I pray and what prayer is about, but nobody wants to talk to me about jack crap. So I pray. And I'm with God. I know that. God knows I'm with him. It's one thing I know and feel good about and solid on with my feet on the ground. I'm with God. And so when I opened up this letter, and I did that motion, and I touched this letter that they had touched, and you can see the finger imprints and stuff on it, I got this overwhelming sense. I got to cover up the fucking, just that by principle, this thing here. Now remember, I hardly speak English from traumatic events I witnessed in this house. All right, moving on. I opened it up, and I saw, spiritually, I saw a woman who wasn't this woman. And the people around this woman who sent the letter see her as really nice. Now there's a city filled with mufflers and motorcycle gangs here, so we'll just try to wing this video. This is part one. And God spoke to me. The domestic terrorists in America, a lot of them are seen as really nice to people who know them in their orbit. But the female terrorists, particularly domestic terrorists, particularly the female terrorists of the United States, will do anything to anyone else. They're no different than any violent offender who's a female in any other sort of crime, except that they're terrorists. So their acts of violence that the female offenders, who are these domestic terrorists of the United States, are carrying out, they're not different than any other prisoner they're in prison with who did violent crimes and ended up in prison for it. This is females, not men. But the female domestic terrorists of the United States, a lot of them were seen to people in the orbit as really nice. And the women here in the US didn't think they were doing anything wrong. The female domestic terrorists in the United States really believe this is okay. They're fighting for some sort of cause. And mutilation of corpses, organ harvesting, I mean, really nasty violent crimes. Cannibalism, manufacturing, really serious military grade, I'll call them chemical stenches. They're military grade. You know what I'm talking about. They're chemical stenches. But manufacturing those, none of this was bad to these women. It was okay. And so they went about their day by putting letters together, going to the post office, sending it in the mail, smiling at everybody. They went about their day thinking it was perfectly okay. And they weren't doing anything wrong. Smiling, being really nice. Jesus also said to me as I opened the letter, once he showed me that about the women, that a lot of people didn't know that were around them. They were domestic terrorists. No, at the post office, they didn't know. He showed me something that was distinct about them. That's different than the Nazis in Germany. The men violent offenders here who are terrorists got all their wives, girlfriends, this sort of nature of relationship involved with violent freaking terrorism. The men in the US military who know they are engaged in treason, who know they are. Some of them have been prosecuted through the insurrection. So I'm not going to sit here and lecture on the US military that's involved with the insurrection, that's involved and gets popped and sent to prison for espionage and shit, okay? They know what they're doing. They know that it's highly, highly illegal. These men have involved their wives. They've got their wives or their girlfriends of that nature involved in violent, egregious crimes. So in the military side, in the militia end, where you're dealing with chemical stenches and these things, it goes beyond chemical stenches, but this sort of attacks on our sovereign territory, that's where they are like 180 degrees different than the Nazis, which we should be really grateful for. The Nazis never involved their wives in anything like that. You had women in World War II on both ends, the evil and the good, involved in the war. It's world war, but they weren't involved hand in hand, Jack and Jill, full knowledge, fully engaged, taking actions with the man. All right? And I just saw that, and I couldn't believe it's like, it was a complete spiritual experience as I was opening up the envelope. I didn't know where it came from, dude. By the time I got to this end of the envelope, I had to stop and just realize what he had just shown me in spiritual guidance. It was really intense. But the more I pray and the closer I am with God, that's how these things happen, dude. And I'm so grateful to God and to the war heroes who fly over this house. You can just stand in the corner and see them. That I can say this. There's a part 1 and a part 2 video. I can't cram this into 14 minutes. So I need to remind the public that this country isn't as dangerous as they like to portray themselves. The Nazis, original Nazis who caused World War II, were a freaking living nightmare. Okay, it's a nightmare, but it's nothing like the Nazis. I'm so grateful to God that he showed me that. Okay, but we do have women, we do have men in the U.S. just outright attacking their sovereign territory and their others within their towns, others within their country. Like, okay, for example, Timothy McVeigh, who attacked the federal building, he attacked children at the daycare there. He didn't care, okay? He's out to cause damage and harm, suffering and pain through terrorism, okay? Okay, so enough said on that. Now, this letter is really wild. Like, so what I'm going to say to the, first of all, we're going to go straight to the money. You cannot rent this place. So that, I'm going to say something to the lawyer right away. I'm calling lawyers tomorrow. Like, that's insane. This is so disgusting here. Okay, so there, bam. Then I have to bring it up. I don't know when. I'm going to pray about it. When do I bring up all that I've witnessed here, and also that everybody died here? I'm the only living witness. I'm the only living witness here, except this one that wants to come in and say she owns the house. So the lawyer needs to prove that, because I don't believe so. I don't think I'm going to say to the lawyer, I don't think she owns the house, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to pray to God about all this, because maybe I should. Then the fire department. The fire department, because this is a lawsuit. So I'm going to pray to God how I approach this with an actual attorney, you know what I mean? Because this is serious business that they are doing this. Okay, also, what else was really weird about the cats? That's wild stuff, but that's not it. That's not what falls right out to me. Let me look here. The money and the, oh yeah, here. She wants to say she's the owner. It's actually right here in the first one, okay? So I have to tell the landlord, the renter's court lawyer, that I filmed her in the middle of all that domestic terrorism. I've got it on film. It's on YouTube. And the dead bodies I smelled through the 24th, and then a little bit again today, which would be through the 24th on into the 27th. It was like a 3-day, just disgusting morgue here, a city morgue. She was here and I witnessed her doing that, this woman right here in print. When she was here, and I filmed it and I documented it and so on and so forth, all the above. And the chemical stenches, and she kept coming back and doing all this sort of obvious felonies. It was clear, outright obvious felonies. The garbage that was in the wall and how they were stuffing, I could hear them stuffing stuff. So I got to tell the lawyer this, yeah, big time I have to, because it's the only way you can approach this. You cannot withhold this from the attorney, okay? This is the two. It's the Thelma Houge and all this shit I witnessed her and filmed her do. And then this charging this amount of money. And lastly, the fire department. That's a major lawsuit, dude. They're directly involved with this. They keep coming up. And plus, I've witnessed them in here and the cops and everything like that. And they keep coming to my door, the fire department and the Department of Mental Health, and saying I'm schizophrenic and bipolar, under delusion, in psychosis, and psychotic. And so everything that I say, I'm imagining, and they have to arrest me. So I need to do this tomorrow. I gotta mention this to the lawyer that they keep coming, the fire department, and trying to arrest me. Okay, we're at minute 13. This is great. Let me wrap it up. I can actually do 14 minutes. It's a miracle. I'm getting an attorney tomorrow, and that is my game plan. And we are going to renter's court. I'm going to give it to God. I don't know what's going on in the capital anymore of Washington, D.C. I do not understand why this letter was sent to me or what these domestic terrorists think they're doing, okay? Tomorrow is lawyer, and this is why. This is preposterous. And there was just, again, a city morgue in this house through the 24th on into earlier this morning. And then some department was back at my bedroom door doing a mental health check again. Okay, bye.